Good evening all and welcome to another video on All How the Ale. It's Sunday night and normally this is trad beer night, but it's the alcohol-free takeover and we're doing something a little bit different today. I'm just going to go into my alcohol-free journey, why I started, where I'm at with it, where I see it going in the future and all that kind of jazz, because I get asked a lot, why am I indulging in a lot more alcohol-free beer than I perhaps used to, or indeed in the first place why I ever had one to begin with. So before we continue with the reasons and all that jazz, we're just going to open an alcohol-free beer. And given that it's been a Mash Gang takeover, we are, of course, going to have a Mash Gang beer. We're having a bit of Stoop, which is their American Pilsner. It's very tasty, very, very tasty indeed. So we're just going to crack that open and crack on with the story. So, why did I start going down the alcohol-free beer route? Well, back in the day, before my actual journey began in earnest, I had a friend, I still have a friend, who developed his own health issues. And from there on in, you know, we both enjoyed attending CAMRA beer festivals and all that jazz. It's lovely, by the way, there's the old Pilsner. Yeah, so we used to attend beer festivals together. We used to try new beers together, enjoyed going out, having a few beers, all that jazz. Anyway, he developed his own health issues, which meant he had to basically stop drinking completely or risk major health complications. So in solidarity with a good friend, I started sort of experimenting beyond a few things that I'd had before. You know, I'd had the Erdinger alcohol-free many times, a bit of the old Punk AF from Brewdog. And mainly that was for me, you know, when I was driving or if I was on call, I had something so I could enjoy the taste of a beer without the effects of a beer. So yeah, that's why I started dabbling in a big way. And I then found it fun, you know, just to try and find a few good ones. Fast forward, however, a few years into Halloween 2020, and we were neck deep in the pandemic at that point, and I developed my own health issues, which I went into in another video, which I shall link hopefully up there if I remember when editing. I developed pulmonary embolism again, and I say again, the first I had some many years ago, and I actually died because of it for a few minutes. I was brought back, which was quite scary, but also quite peaceful. That's a whole other story for another day. But anyway, yes, I developed what was called unprovoked blood clots and in my lungs, which basically meant that I'm now on medication for the rest of my life, which severely limits my alcohol intake. So, as I'm sure you can imagine, that was a pretty shitty time to go through, finding out that, yeah, again, you've come that close to meeting your maker due to, basically, no fault of my own or indeed anyone's. And I thought to myself, well, I'm the kind of person who always tries to find a silver lining in any situation. So I thought to myself, well, you know what, I can't go out and enjoy regular beer anywhere near as much as I used to. So I had to find an alternative. And like I say, silver lining and all that jazz. I thought to myself, do you know what, I could go much harder into the alcohol-free beer market and just see what is out there and see if there is actually anything that is half decent. And the very first time I had an alcohol-free beer was many years ago. I was actually at Brands Hatch Motor Circuit, and Caliber had just come out, and it was being marketed in a big way, and they were pushing it hard and giving out free samples. Well, it was not very nice, I must say. It tastes like unfermented wort. It was not nice in the slightest. But fast forward, like I say, many years, you get the imports from Germany with the Erdinger, and fast forward a few more years, and we are where we are today. We've got so many good alcohol-free beers that I genuinely don't feel like I'm missing out. And that was the hardest part to cope with at the beginning. I was sitting there thinking, I'm going to lose all the pleasure out of in drinking a beer, because I never used to drink to get drunk. It happened, let's be honest, many times, because you find a good beer, you sit and have a good session on it, and you end up, you know, on your backside because you've had too many and you can't order your cab, you drop your kebab, all that jazz. It was not fun. I always enjoyed a beer for the flavour, and I grew up in the southeast, as I'm sure you can tell by my accent, and I was used to some damn good beer. Fuller's, Shepherd Neame, you know, they were the two big trad beer brewers down my way. And I used to indulge in a lot of their beer in many pubs in Dartford and sort of West Kingsdown, all that part of the world, venture into London and sort of back home, and you used to get loads of good pubs with good beer. But none of them really had any alcohol-free options. So I couldn't go out and enjoy anything other than, say, an Erdinger. And I was up in Whitby recently, last summer, going visiting my mum, and we went out and we had a few beers, alcohol free. It was, again, Erdinger everywhere. You had the occasional Heineken on offer, but, I will always gravitate back to the Erdinger when I can. And going back to Halloween 2020, with that kind of slightly depressive state, I thought to myself, I'm going to go hard into the alcohol free, and I searched and found a few good recommendations of a few sort of retailers online, admittedly, of alcohol free beers. So I threw, I think it was about £100 at one of them, and just ordered a metric ton, not literally, of course, of different alcohol free beers to sample. And it was an eye-opening experience, I must say. I honestly didn't expect to get much out of my £100 that I would like. But I will be honest and say there was probably 3 or 4 that I wouldn't buy again. And the rest of them were brilliant, brilliant beers that, let's be honest, are well worth drinking even now, over and above a regular beer. So that got me thinking, if there are some good ones out there, and that was just my first dabble in the market, just what more is possible? And over time, since, like I say, last Halloween, or Halloween before, 2020, it became my mission to try and find the best alcohol-free beer that I can in the UK. And I will try imports. I've tried German beers, I've tried American beers, I've tried Belgian beers, I've tried Czech beers, I've tried beers from all over the UK. And I'm pleased to say there are some damn good ones out there. And it's made this section of my life that little bit easier to cope with. And I will admit, years ago, I did use alcohol as a bit of a crutch. But not now. Not now. I've got no need to, because I'm in a better place, in a much better place with my own head, with my health situation, and I feel like I'm not missing out. I can have a good beer. I'm drinking one right now, and Mash Gang, amongst a few other breweries, have really kind of elevated the game of alcohol free and taken it to a whole new level where you are sitting drinking a drink and you don't think you're missing out in any way, shape or form. It's a truly authentic drinking experience. You've got the flavour. The only thing you're missing is the inability to use your legs when you get up after you've had 10 or so pints. And, you're perfectly sane. You're perfectly safe to drive. And, you're not going to wake up with a banging head the next morning. So that is exactly where I am now. And all these beers have helped in a big, big way. Mash Gang have made my favourite beer of the year so far. Jump Ship made my favourite beer of 2021. And, 2020, again, it was Jump Ship. And then you've got Drop Bear Beer Co. in Wales. So we've got an English brewer, a Scottish brewer, and a Welsh brewer have made the very best alcohol-free beer that have passed my lips. And I'm all the more grateful for it, because I can function like a perfectly normal human being and still enjoy a damn good beer or 10. So yeah, that's where we are right now. And many people have asked me over the years, are you going to do Dry January? And it's like, no, I don't really want to do Dry January because I miss out on the tasty beer. But now I can say that I would do Dry January and not miss out on a damn good beer, because there are excellent options like Stoop that I'm drinking right now that will just leave you completely unaware that you're not drinking a damn fine beer. And, I might consider it next year. This year I have had a few beers because I'm allowed some, but very little alcohol every week, based on my medication input. So I might do it next year. Who knows? I might even try it 1 month this year just for the lulz and see how it goes. And, so there we are. So I have some questions for you guys and girls now. Would you do Dry January? Would you do a dry any month at all? If it meant that you could function as a perfectly normal human being and, not have the consequences of a skinful, would you consider dropping your alcohol intake if you knew there were damn fine beers out there. I would have said, yeah, I probably would back in the day, but fully expecting not to find anything. But my eyes and my head have been turned by the fact that there are some amazing beers out there that are alcohol free or very, very, very low alcohol. And yeah, there we go. But one more question. This is for the subscribers and the people who view the channel. Obviously, I do mixed content. I do alcohol free and regular full fat leaded beer. Does it bother you that there is a mixture on the channel? Would you prefer to see the alcohol free separate from the regular beer, or does it not bother you? Let me know in the comments section below what you think, because I've been dwelling on this topic for quite some time. I didn't know what way to go. So I will take input and guidance from the dear viewers who enjoy my content every week. So yeah. So there we are. That is my 10 minutes and 46 seconds, according to the timer, wrap up of my alcohol-free journey so far. There's a lot more to come, of course, because I will still hunt down the very best alcohol-free beer that there is to offer. And not just the alcohol-free beer, the alcohol-free spirits as well. And obviously alternatives of other drinks as well. And I just want to let you know as well that there are some fantastic alcohol-free, what's the word I'm looking for? Content providers, creators. Not so much on YouTube, I will say. Most of them tend to appear on Twitter, so I'm going to pop a few links to their Twitter feeds down below. And if I've got some alcohol-free YouTubers as well, I'll stick their links in the comments, not in the comments, in the description below, just so you can hunt some down and see what you think. So there we go. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, thanks for watching. I've been me. That's been The Stoop. Hope you've enjoyed the story. And let me know your stories as well in the comment section below if you've taken an alcohol-free journey of any kind. Catch you again soon for another one. Bye.